Pac City, welcome back. It's July 24th, 2021, Saturday, 5 days away from the 2021 NBA draft. Thank you for taking some time out to come kick it with your boys on your favorite Hawks Hoopcast. I go by Lou Starsky. And today we're just going to chop it up real quick. We got a kind of a few things burgeoning as the draft is coming on. It seems like the Hawks are being mentioned with every trade talk. So we're going to talk about that. But first, as always, special thanks to the new Pac City group, the Originative brand by Jamal Price, the Arc Alien Designs, that's your boy Mike Smith, and shop.flickwick.com, our sponsor. Make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We have a new channel. Go check that out so you can be notified when we go live just off the rip. And then I guess all that really helps us out, but I guess it's time to just talk Hawks. And it looks like we just lost our guest. Eddie just took off. But we'll bring him back on. But we're basically just gonna talk about the Hawks. It seems like as our fortunes were pretty good in the NBA Finals. It also seems like it was a kind of an audition for some of our young guys to be noticed. And so it seems our young guys get mentioned with almost every trade scenario out there. And while that's, a lot of people are saying you're either on one camp where, hey, look, we have so many assets, let's bundle them together for a supreme asset. And that makes sense, but we can't just do it for any position or any player. Although someone like Bradley Beal, we'll talk about, is a supreme talent and a very consistent shooter. The depth that you lose and the defense that you lose, to me, just isn't worth it. So let me see if he's ready to come back on. No, looks like he's still having a little bit of technical difficulties. But yeah, so it seems like with all of the trade scenarios out there, it requires us to give up 2 or 3 of our young wings and a pick or two. And to me, I just think that's a little much. If we don't get back someone like a James Harden or someone of that nature. So, let me see in the comments, what y'all are thinking out there. But we have to be really careful with mortgaging the future. And while I'm all for packaging up assets to get a much better asset, it doesn't mean just give away our depth that we've created. And so as I'm struggling here with Eddie having some technical difficulties, I'll keep talking on about this because I think some Hawks fans are rightfully weary about where we could go this offseason because the hope and promise of the playoffs has already gone away. Now we got to retain JC. Now we got to upgrade positions. Now we got to get a backup point guard, which is good, but these things need to be addressed. And we have to use our assets to do that. We have to use our all of our draft capital, all of our young players, and also, free agency. We still have $12 million in free agency to go out there and get competent winning basketball players. We don't have to go out for projects, which is nice. I mean, we can fill needs and fill roles. So that's what I wanted to come on and talk about. And I think Eddie wanted to talk about something as well, but my man, we were just chopping it up in the background. He was ready to go. Had a fly fit on him. I'm going to let him show that off when he gets on, but we're hoping to get this figured out. See, Stephen Patrick says some fans will give up everything to get the hope of a star. KP is one they like. He's an underachieving star who will get paid more than JC, but he's always injured. And I agree. I like KP as a player and what his skill set brings. And I do think packaging up JC with something to get him, I think that would be worth the risk. But his health is a big thing, hopefully, hopefully in that situation, he comes in and he can actually, play a full set of games, or maybe with our depth, we can mitigate some of his wear and tear to be able to keep him fresh for the playoffs. But that would be something that would be interesting, since he does possess a clear, skill set that's better than anything on our team, and he also possesses a height that can be suffocating, especially if his knee is back to 100%, which we always know it takes a little while to get your knee back. But he's an outstanding shooter. We would be losing some chemistry, but I think with the international players that we have, I think KP is probably one of the only guys that I would go outside of ourselves to inquire. But that's only if it makes sense. It's only if JC's pushing us outside of a range that we're willing to pay him. And then if that's the case, then maybe look at KP as something to replace with, just because we have the depth to be able to overcome an injury there. The conversations that I'm hearing about, about the other ones, like with Dame or anything like that, I think that's given up too much talent from the Hawks. John Harris says, stick to the build formula, no trading assets, draft and acquire talent, and make that talent work. No role players. I agree with almost everything he says there, except the role players. I think role players in the NBA is what makes a championship team. I think when you have a high caliber, because all these kids come in thinking that they're going to be a star, and the ones that succeed are the ones that accept roles and then get really good at these roles, whether it's shooting, whether it's rebounding, whether it's being the tough guy, whether it's, whatever it is. And I think role players are very, very key. And the Hawks are in a prime position to go out and draft role players in the draft. And that's going to be a unique place for us, where we're normally drafting, to find a superstar. We're normally trying to hit a home run to then build off of. Right now, we don't need to do that. So whether it's shooting we want to go after, whether it's rebounding we want to go after, whether it's height, stoutness, we can identify these guys and pick the best ones at that. So I think that's a good place to be. So I agree we should build, keep our assets, but role players are key to winning basketball. Now I'm having technical difficulties. Here we go. Next one, Stephen Patrick, chemistry and willingness to fit is very important. I do agree with that. And Eddie is still trying. I can show y'all. He's working on it. See him coming in and out. Then Facebook user, why he is a max contract. Why would an injury prone guy, he's making like 31 a year. KP is 30. He's making 31. He's probably like 27, 26, 27. Like I said, I wouldn't go out actively for someone like KP. And I was very anti KP when the conversation first came up. But if it's the difference between paying JC, close to 30 million, or picking up a contract that has 3 years left that's 30 million, I think you go with the risk, or the unknown that is KP, as opposed to hoping and praying that JC becomes something that he's not. I love JC. I love John Collins. He's been a fan favorite here as well. He does all the highlight stuff as well. And that's it, though. It's like if we're really talking winning basketball and we're trying to upgrade our team, it just so happens that JC is the more prime candidate to be moved for something that would facilitate us upgrading. It seems like with all the other trades, since they're so young, like whether you talk about Dre or Cam or Bogey and Kev, they want to package all those guys up and send them out. And I don't think that's smart. I think JC has reached more of his ceiling than a Kev or any of the other guards or the wings. So I would hold those guys over JC. That's just the way it is. Doesn't mean I don't like John Collins. It's just he's a glorified role player, and he might be Trey's best mate, but he's still a role player, and that's an upgradable position. If it's an upgradable position. If it's not, you keep JC and you try to get a bigger center or some backup centers that'll do the things that JC can't do. JC gets pushed around a lot, and in the playoffs, you just can't have your positions not be stout, like if it's a defensive set or anything like that. If he gets pushed around and all of a sudden that opens up a gap or a lane, that's just the way it is. Says, why would you want an injury? KP, does he even fit? So the reason why KP fits is because he can get his own scores without Trey, and that's a real number two. So we know that when Luca and KP didn't play together, KP's stats went up. They didn't go down; they went up. And he has all the skill sets to get his own shots, whether it's to take whether to take his man down low, post up, use his length to get to get a nice little shot, to get a score, or he's a lethal shooter, a lethal 3-point shooter that nobody's going to run out and contest his shot. He's 7-1. So the skills that he does bring is obviously his scoring, and he does impact on defense. So you don't lose much on defense. So the reason why I would consider KP over JC and how he fits is because he can be a real number two. So if Trey is off, he can literally pass the ball to this guy, and this guy can create. We're hoping DeAndre Hunter becomes this guy as well, and he's shown flashes of getting to his mid-range jumper and hitting a bucket when we need one. So I'm okay with waiting and seeing what we have on our team. But if we do make a move, we have to take a risk at some level. But if the risk is a health risk, and it's not like because I heard somebody say, well, hey, let's draft Jalen, the guard from Baylor. He has a heart condition. That's just as big of a risk as drafting someone like KP, who has played full seasons but has also been injured. So I think with the fact that it's a knee injury and maybe he was slowed this year, and then the year after that he'll get a little stronger. I'm hoping maybe that's the case, but Michael A. Smith, one of the co-hosts on here, he brings him up in the back channels, and I had to go look at his highlights, and I agree, he would be an upgrade. There's no doubt about it. KP can be a second offensive guy on his own, and John Collins cannot be that. John Collins is strictly, Trey's sidekick as far as his skill set. I think if he goes on to another team that doesn't facilitate for him, he may average less points and less rebounds than he did with us. So that would be a win on our part if we make the right decision there. So, like I said, John Collins just happens to be the guy that seems to be the upgradable one. And is KP an upgrade? My technology is also messing up, but it says, is KP an upgrade? I just, like I said before, like I wholeheartedly believe that KP being able to get his own buckets and being able to be a number one for a certain amount of games would be a huge benefit for us. It'd be a lot of relief on the other players and the other role players as well. So we have to, I would really consider KP. The Bradley Beal trade, which is the one we actually came on to talk about, that one I do not agree with one bit. I just think he does not fit our style of basketball. He doesn't play defense. And it's this idea of him being a winner or not being a winner. He hasn't been on many teams. He hasn't been impressive. Like even when he was at Florida, to me, he was not impressive. But he's come in and proved me wrong and has been a great contributor and a great scorer in the NBA. I didn't even see him being that. But no, I don't think mortgaging our future for someone like Bradley Beal makes a whole lot of sense. There is a trade that I don't think is going to happen. It's not even likely, but Mike did bring it up, and it was one that was for Cat. Minnesota is definitely looking to make some moves, but I think they're at a position where they're trying to win as well. So I don't think they're going to, come up off of Cat. If they do, they'll probably come up off of, maybe Malik or something like that. But and then John Harris, he says, I disagree. That role player has messed up so many college players' careers due to those players not being able to score or even shoot free throws. And when they get into the pros, basic basketball skills are horrible. No matter what position you play, you must be able to score by shooting free throws and making your own shots. And I don't think those things are mutually exclusive. I totally agree with you, John. Like I think, that's why when I look at drafts, I look at players that have a skill set you can build on. Like to see an athletic guy and be like, oh, I can teach him how to shoot a jumper or teach him some low post moves. That's a risky proposition. But if you see a guy that's got all the skills, just needs to fill out or get more confidence or need to have pro workout where that's your job, as opposed to you also learning a new country, learning a new curriculum, learning classes, learning people. That's not how it is in the pros. You get to really work on your game. So I don't think these things are mutually exclusive. But I think that a lot of guys in the league that are similar skilled can make it in the league if they identify a role that they can play on certain teams. I was listening to JJ Redick, interview Kevin Herter, and that came up a lot. Everybody's like, because everybody asked JJ Redick, he was like, you're 6'3", a 6'5" shooting guard, white shooting guard that can shoot. There's so many of those out there. Like, how have you been so successful? Have you played 15 years in the league? And he said, well, when I got into the league, I identified what people needed and what I needed to do. There was people that can just shoot. I needed to be able to run and keep my conditioning up and run around several different picks, come across, catch the ball, and shoot. That delineated me from everybody else. And that's what he went out and did. And teams paid him good money to go out there and do that. So I think if you can kind of, like I said, create a role for yourself, if you're not the man, then you'll be a successful NBA players. And I think NBA teams become successful when they have a guy that'll do the dirty work. Let's see what else. And I guess if Eddie's technology is not working, then we might just save everything else for the Wednesday show. We're going to definitely get in depth on the draft. It's going to be the day before the draft, so we'll go into not only who we are drafting, but I'm also looking into a couple of teams that have several draft picks in this draft that I think are going to foil some plans for the Hawks, whether it's Charles Bassey in the second round or who they have their eye on in the 20th pick. I think the Knicks and the OKC have a chance to play spoiler for a lot of Hawks fans. So we will get into a little bit of that talk on Wednesday. I'm sure Damon's going to tell me how the draft picks don't mean anything, but if we grab his boy from Baylor, he's going to be the next best thing. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of that conversation as well. So I'm going to give Eddie a little bit more time, but I'm really kind of a shy guy, so I like it better when everybody else is on. But if I can get Eddie to pop on here in a little bit, we'll keep it going. If not, then I'll probably shut it down and just keep the show going for Wednesday. Oh, hold on. I see you, Eddie. I'm coming for you. There he is.
There it is. God damn.
What? Dude, I filibustered as much as I could.
Man, I was sitting back there for like 5 minutes. I don't know if you see me or not. You know what I'm saying? But I actually just went and cut off my Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying? I cut the Wi-Fi off. And then it seemed like it just snapped in. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we might got something going now.
Yeah. Mike, technology is always funny that way. It's like resetting it always just gets it to redo its things. It's like magic sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyways, man, on to these Hawks. So we got we got a lot of conversation about trades, and I think that's a product of us going deep into the playoffs, and everybody kind of getting a chance to see our team, because, like, let's be honest, I'd probably say they're probably one of the least watched teams up until the mid-season this year. Then they became a kind of a NBA pass darling, but
right.
Nobody watches our team, and so I don't think a lot of people realize that Kevin Herter could ball. I don't think a lot of people realize that DeAndre Hunter is a stud. I don't think a lot of people realized, all these things about our team. So now that they're looking at them, they're being like, oh, well, if I go over there and just grab this guy and add him to my team, maybe my team will be good. So that's why you see a lot of people talking in the offseason, and our names are coming up a lot. And our fans are reacting in funny ways. Like, some people are like, yeah, let's do it, because we have all these assets. Let's just go after any old name. And I'm just like, yeah, slow. Let's take it a step back. Like, we don't need to just go after, anybody just because we can. Like, I think we can be really selective in the next couple of years. Because do you feel the window is short, or do you feel the window is long, or do you feel the window depends on this offseason?
I feel like the window is as long as our good decision making with our roster is. You feel me? As long as we make good, smart business decisions with the people that we got on our roster, as long as we are able to assess our talent and the weaknesses that we got on this team honestly. You know what I'm saying? Because I think just from sitting there watching our team in the playoffs, we was all able to sit and see how we measure up against the better teams in the East. We played the number one team in the East. We played the team that's usually the number one team, which is Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. And then, you know what I'm saying, we played a good up and coming New York team. And as far as like some of our shortcomings, we got a size deficiency we need to take care of. That's why I'm talking about a guy like Porzingis. You know what I'm saying? Porzingis, he got big size, you know what I'm saying, but he got the skill that we look for as far as playing in this system. He'll be a more amplified Gallinari, pretty much. Right. A taller player, the same type of player as far as like the skill set is being able to attack the offense from the face-up position. Even at a stretch 5, you can play him a stretch 5 or a stretch 4. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But if we just get emotional with our players and be like, okay, we drafted him, you know what I'm saying? He's our guy, you know, even though he got the fish that we know is gonna come back to bite us in our ass, that's when we're gonna start sliding back, because every team is gonna get better throughout the course of the offseason. They're gonna draft new players, they're gonna get new free agents, you know what I'm saying? And we got to be smart with these decisions. But that's why I'm confident in the shit that we're gonna do, because to me, I think we got one of the top 3 GMs in basketball right now. Travis Sling has really showed me, you know what I'm saying? He really know what the fuck he doing, and he really was a big part of building what Golden State is today.
I'll tell you, he's the opposite and he's the opposite of what you're calling us as fans. Is he seems to be the most unemotional guy. He'll tell Dwight Howard, "Let's go to meet you at Steak and Shake," and then all of a sudden he's getting traded. Like Travis, Travis doesn't care. Like when it comes to that, like he must have an ability to be able to compartmentalize the friend side and the business side.
He almost got that mafioso attitude. You know what I'm saying? Sure. He's the one guy that can sit back and, you know what I'm saying, just like analyze everything from a whole different perspective than what everybody else got. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
That's why I like the shit that Nate was saying, because whenever Nate came on 92.9 the game earlier this week, it was asking him, like, when the draft come up, are you gonna be one of the ones that's gonna do like a lot of the like have clear input as far as who we draft, the free agents we get? And Nate basically was saying, my time is whenever we go to summer league, you know what I'm saying, when we start the training camp, that's Nate time. Mm-hmm. He said, but Travis's time is whenever the free agent draft, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we go to the draft players, when free agents or whatever.
When Bud started trying to do all the different jobs, I didn't like that. So I like it. If you're saying that they fucked up. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because he keeping everybody, he keeping that confusion out of the situation. Because a lot of times you got coaches that want to put the input in a place where they really ain't got no business being over there. This ain't your lane. You know what I'm saying? Stay in your lane. You go over there and coach the players up. You help them develop. You know what I'm saying? You get them ready for the season coming up. Let me do what I've been doing, because you got to realize Travis got a squad of people that's been they've been scouting this talent for years. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the shit that they know, Nate won't know. You know what I'm saying? So as far as him being needed in that aspect, he really don't. All he might need to tell him is the profile of the player that he's looking for to help this team. You know what I'm saying? We might need a guy at this height to do this type of skill set. You know what I'm saying? And we need him to play 20, 30 minutes a game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you had mentioned KP earlier, and we actually got into a little discussion with the comments earlier, and I brought up KP as an example. Actually, I think Stephen Patrick actually originally brought him up, but then I said KP is somebody that I would trade a JC and a pick or another pick or another player for.
Damn right. Real quick.
Yeah, and then everybody was kind of like, well, is he an upgrade first of all, and also his health thing, and I can concede the health situation, but that's a risk because of his upgrade is so different than what JC is like, and everybody's like, all right, well, what's your main thing with KP? And it's like he's a bona fide number one scorer. So when
damn right
out, he can get you buckets. Like, you can give him the ball and run an offense through him. He's proven that.
You can if something happens to Trey and he gets hurt, you can automatically put your, you know what I'm saying, focus the team offense on KP, and you wouldn't really take no you know what I'm saying, you wouldn't take a direct hit really in your offense as long as everybody else is performing. You know what I'm saying? But we saw whenever Trey went down, we really was missing that shit. You know what I'm saying, in the playoffs, because we tried to do with Bogey. We bought Bogey over here to be that, but Bogey really, I don't know if it was the injury, or I don't know if it was just, you know, a lot of times it take a player to go through these situations 1 or 2 times before that shit really lock in with them, as far as having that amount of responsibility on the team.
I think it was more injury. I think Bogey, since his days overseas, has always been a killer. He has that mentality.
Yeah, he got the mentality, but
and I think what happened is Sacramento so underutilized him that maybe a little bit of his confidence was waning. But when he came in, I think by the end of the season, he was kind of playing almost to the level that I expected.
Right.
He regressed a little bit in the playoffs, but I'm hoping that was for the injury, because he has that mentality of a basketball player where his last shot doesn't matter. He's not worried about not worried about your friendship. He's out there to win the basketball game, and if it's going to be an ugly, grandma shot off the backboard, he'll take that shot to score the points. You know, so I like Bogey a lot.
I like him too. But I just, I want him to see when it comes to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Bogey is
can we talk
mega
about
talented.
Can we continue to talk about KP a little bit? Because we have this comment here and this other comment here, which is I disagree. I want you to talk about this because I've already mentioned KP's defense is not bad. He's a little slow laterally, but he is suffocating on
man. KP so long he can get behind and still catch you up and put your shit off the backboard. You know what I'm saying? KP, see what? That's one thing I don't do. Everybody gets hurt. Ain't nobody prone, and ain't nobody that's not going to get hurt in the pros. You know, you do too much physical activity for your body to not suffer eventually. But what I want, if we was to get him, we would have to kind of finesse him throughout the year just to get his ass to the playoffs. Once you get a player like that to the playoffs, the unicorn, he could be the difference maker that you need. You know what I'm saying? And you already got
Giannis. I mean, he's not as fast and quick as Giannis, but I mean, he's Giannis with a 3-point shot. Like, he's that tall.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, 7'3", shit, you can't control. You can't coach that. You know what I'm saying? Everything that John, we can find another John. You can go find another John tomorrow.
Like I told
you, can't go find another KP.
Exactly. I've seen at least 4 second-year Johns in this draft. Second-year Johns.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? Or you can go get a player that's a senior already, that's damn near his same age, coming in with the same skill set, doing damn near the same shit he doing now. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't nothing that he really does that we can't replace, and we can't pay top dollar for what he produces. You know what I'm saying? That'll be a stupid ass move on our part.
So dumb. We have to have a limit on what we're willing to pay John Collins, and it's got to be not much more than $490. Like 114 is the max that I would push it. But even then, I would just be like, damn, John, you fucking me, man. You fucking me.
490 too much to me.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And the thing is like, I really do think that since the other part of this scenario is that everybody else is overvaluing John. We know what John is. They are overvaluing. They think that they can take this 23-year-old and he's going to be something more than he isn't. Let's let them money. And if somebody's dumb enough to make a trade like KP, because they feel some kind of way about it, we'll take him. We will take a KP for John Collins.
When a person says something like, is KP a upgrade over John Collins, let me know they don't watch basketball very often, or they don't watch nobody outside of the Hawks. You know what I'm saying? Because you can look at KP and tell the difference in the skill set that he has. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to John. See, and you got to be a person that's going to be unbiased when it comes to your analysis of these players. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact you can't get a true reading on them if you're going to be biased with it. Just because this dude played for your team, don't let your analysis be biased, because one day the other player could be on your team too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
well, we got one here. We got a Facebook user here that says, "Give me a John Collins who's way more durable." That's bullshit. So he's not, I wouldn't say, or she is emotional about John, but they're definitely biased where they want John Collins because they've seen John Collins.
Yeah.
I don't think they would realize what a KP will do with it because these are pros. They don't have to be buddies. But when you put a KP on your team, you will be better.
That's an emotional response. Give me something basketball wise. Can you hear me good still? Can you hear me good? I said, tell me.
I said, I can hear you good.
All right. I want this person, whoever the Facebook user is, tell me something basketball wise that John does better than KP. You know what I'm saying? Give me anything that John is just like head over heels better than him at basketball wise, and then let's talk about that because John is not upgrade over. The only thing y'all can say is the injuries. Y'all can beat that dead horse all you want to, but then this man can go on a string of 5-6 years without ever missing another game. You know what I'm saying? He's still young, and he's still kind of growing into his body. You know what I'm saying? He's a young ass player. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta give that player time to get his physical development up, get on them weights. You know what I'm saying? And deal with his body, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But
let me do a show note.
Somebody trying to call me.
Eddie, let me do a show note real quick. Hey, everybody, if you want your name to show up and you don't want it to be Facebook user, at the bottom of the post, there'll be a little link to click. You just have to get StreamYard and Facebook to allow each other to communicate. Once that happens, by pressing the link, your name will just pop up automatically, and you only have to do it once. So with that said, I think it's obvious that that KP is a more legitimate NBA star player than JC. JC is super athletic, fun to watch, and is playing with Trae Young.
But if it weren't for that, if you go to another team that ain't got a Trae Young on it, ain't got a point guard as dynamic as Trae, he's gonna be an afterthought. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be a player that might get you 13 points, 7 rebounds a game. You know what I'm saying? Because for one, he ain't the biggest dude, and then for two, he can't create his own shot. If you're gonna pay a player that amount of money that we talking about giving John, he has to. Y'all saw what Chris Middleton did in the playoffs whenever Giannis went out? Snap.
Yep.
That team, they took off whenever he started snapping. And then he got doing that shit every game. And then they went and paid Drew Holiday in the offseason. You know what I'm saying? They went and picked him up and paid him big money. You got to have them type of players, man, to put around your stars. But you got to get the right mix of players to be able to do that with. You got to get a player at each level. You got to get a point guard. You got to have your wing player. You need a big man, too, if you can find a good big man that you can pay that money to. But you got to get the right one. And I'm just, unless John comes back and shows them that he got some Julius Randle handles or some shit he done picked up in the offseason, where he done just went and trained and got himself that much better in that quicker time, you can't do it, man. It's just, I love John.
Yeah, well, that brings up this comment right here. It says, I don't know if it's the same Facebook user, but he's saying, I'm not saying JC is better now, but we're not in a position to pay this man for what he might be. And that's what I was trying to say a couple of shows ago, is that this is a project then. You're paying this man not for what he's worth, for what he might be worth. And that's just not in the position of good basketball GMing. Like right now,
we're supposed to pay. We're supposed to pay him good money because he might get that good.
That's what I'm saying.
Come on, man.
And then another comment is KP played with Luke and regressed. Fuck out of here. Okay, well, he played with Luka, but have you seen those games? It's not like Trae where he's lobbing it up to him and having a good time and high-fiving. It's dribble, fade away three,
dribble out that bitch.
Dribble. 20 seconds later, you only got 4 or 5 seconds on the shot clock. All of a sudden, he's throwing it to you in the corner, and you got to put a shot up. You ain't gonna be happy. You're not gonna be happy. You're not gonna.
No flow to that offense. There's no flow to that Dallas offense.
There is a highlight out there of this year of all the times that KP is out there ready to shoot and gets ignored, and then his body language is like, now I gotta hustle.
Fuck this shit.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck this shit. So, okay, yeah, he regressed, but have you looked at those games? Go look at the highlights of those two playing together. They don't like playing together, and guess what? He still put up like 20-something points and 8 boards. He still did that. when Luka went out, guess what? His averages, all his shit went up. He started averaging 11 rebounds, 28 points. The thing is like, you know what KP is. He can get you buckets. You pass him the ball, he can pump fake, take the ball to the hole and dunk it or post you up. And everything that I was saying before, that JC is not. And he's still tall. He can still just accidentally block your shit. Or
let me tell you something. If you put KP in this offense, of our offense, with that ball movement and everybody touching the ball and being engaged in the game, this motherfucker liable to be the damn MVP of the league. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact you in an environment where you're talking about, it's a team. Everybody touching the ball. Everybody is affected. You know what I'm saying? That's why we was able to lose Trey, and then that one game, everybody go off because everybody was still involved in the game. You know what I'm saying? Kev, he getting his touches, Bogey getting his touches, and they was hooping. Everybody was converting. They don't do that because they role players for the most part. So we can't do that on an every game basis. But whenever you got a player like KP in an environment like that cultivates good, sound basketball and ball movement, and everybody getting involved, your morale as a player, your morale change.
Right.
A player who's that's getting froze out the offense, they automatically gonna get frustrated and they ain't gonna be engaged in the game. You know what I'm saying? That's just, you ain't doing all that fucking running back up and down the floor if you ain't getting engaged in the game. If they ain't getting involved with you in offensive game plan. That's why he came out at the end of the season was like, I don't even know what my role is on this team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. You can't have a player that you paying that much money to without a defined role in your offense every game. It shouldn't even be a question. Right. And if that's the case, I blame the coach first, because you the motherfucker who tailor-made the offense to the players on your team. And then two, I blame Luka, because that motherfucker is a D1. He is a white James Harden. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker gonna take that ball and he gonna dribble, side to side, do-si-do motherfucker to death. But when it comes to cultivating a good basketball environment and a style of basketball that you can win championships with, that ain't it. That ain't it. And we never seen nobody play a style like that goes on and win championships. Everything I've seen been, besides Kobe a little bit. Kobe still passed more than that. You know what I'm saying?
Kobe's a willing passer.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Kobe gonna make the right basketball play. Yeah. I'll put it like that. Kobe gonna make, he might not be the most pass.
LeBron more so. LeBron's more of a passer. Kobe has a little more of that I'm gonna get it, than LeBron.
Right.
But you gotta be willing to pass. I mean, you got to make the right basketball play, and that's the difference between guys that are super successful and guys that that are just scrubs.
You got it.
I want to talk about. I want to finish up this KP talk because we do have some more people coming in about this, and I want to start here. So this one right here says, nah, not for 31 million. He's just size. I disagree. Obviously. And the only reason why KP is in in conversation is that if you're going to be willing to pay JC 28, I would much rather pay KP 31 for what he can do than to pay JC 28 for what he can do. That's where I'm at.
I'm gonna tell you, see, a lot of our fans, they get it confused, man. The 1 year that JC had 21 and 10, we had no talent on the team. He was playing a lot of minutes, and somebody had to score a rebound. You know what I'm saying? But whenever Clint came, you know what I'm saying, and then you got more talent on the team. You got Bogey, the infusion of Gallinari into the power forward position. You got DeAndre, you got Cam, you got Trey. Everybody developing. His numbers will never be that high again because he's really not that skillful of a player to be able to get those numbers up that high. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna never be a career 21 and 10 player. That was just for one. That was an off season. That was just like one season that shit gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you mentioned the other guy that I wanted to talk about with there we go, with this comment right here is that KP doesn't play this style. So it says KP doesn't play the post, which that's not true. KP does play the post. He didn't get utilized in the post. But if you go back to his New York highlights, that man dominated the post with some sick turnaround.
Hey, Facebook user, type your name. You ain't got your name on your post, but type your name at the end of the pic. I want to see who in the hell this here don't know a damn thing about this damn basketball shit. You ain't got a clue. You ain't got a clue, Facebook user, because look, okay, remember whenever
before you go up, let me finish my little thing here. What I was gonna say is that he's not a post player. That's fine. We already have another post player on the pick and roller, who is Clint Capella, and that's all. And we don't need everybody to be a pick and roll guy.
Right.
Go ahead.
But see, remember whenever Giannis went out and they took Brook Lopez, and instead of him playing out there on the wing, I mean, out there on the outside 3-point line, they completely changed his position, put him on the post, let that motherfucker dominate on the inside, which he was doing that before when he played with Brooklyn. And I think he was when he with the Raptors before or somewhere. I know he was with Brooklyn, but he's very capable of doing it, even though he don't do it every game because the offense asks him to do something different. The man can just as well go in that post, man, and do what the fuck he do. He got post moves and everything. I've seen him do it. You know what I'm saying? So don't get it confused. Don't say just because he was playing on the outside. I seen him playing outside of 3-point. Man, look, that just mean that's just something else he could do. He could do this other shit too. You know what I'm saying? The man is multifaceted.
He could be 7-1
Yes. The man can do it. Pretty much, the man can do what the fuck he want to on the field, on the court, man. He can do what he want to do. He can block your shit. He can bust the ball on the backboard with your shit if you want to. He can got them stroke threes. You hit him with them damn passes on you know what I'm saying, rhythm passes on the outside of the three. He gonna hit the threes, man. He will hit them at a high clip. Once he start hitting them, you trying to run out and close him out. Now he finna drive past you because he got handled with the left and the right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This man really ain't got no belt. He got no bunch of weaknesses. That's why New York paid him so fast. Because they saw right off the rip what the fuck they had in him. You know what I'm saying? When they drafted him. And it's a lot of players in the league right now that's an offense that underutilize them. That's what you're seeing with him. He's being underutilized. His talents are not being honed like they should. And if he comes to the Hawks, I'm trying to tell you, we're gonna be in the goddamn finals next year, and we're gonna whoop somebody motherfucking ass. I'm telling you now.
Right.
If I was trying, I'll make that motherfucking move ASAP.
All right. It says so this is for Patrick Edwards. I guess it's Patrick Edwards that's doing it. And then it says I'd rather not mess with our chemistry is what I believe Patrick Edwards says next. And I hear you about chemistry.
Patrick, that's my cousin, man. With all that crazy shit, man. Come on, Patrick. Don't do that, dog. Don't do that, about no. Come on, we ain't gonna do that now, but we ain't gonna compare no JC to no damn KP. Come on now. We ain't gonna do that now.
There is no real comparison, but the thing is,
ain't no comparison.
No, and you know, and it really wouldn't be a bad deal for us, because we do have Gallo, we do have Clint, and all those guys coming off the books around the same time that KP would. I think getting KP would assure that we have a window. My only concern with KP is his health and Emery, because Emery has shown
them motherfuckers some trash. It's some hot garbage over there.
They have shown a lack of professionality when it comes to keeping motherfuckers healthy and in shape.
Hey, check this out, Lou. I'm gonna say something. And be honest about what I say. Now I'm gonna ask you a question. I want you to be honest with it. And it might sound blasphemous to some of these fans, but who the most talented big man we got? Is it John or is it Nathan Knight?
Skill-wise, Nathan Knight has more skills, basketball skills.
Skills, yes, he does. Yeah. Now they gonna try to say, "No, I'm on some bullshit. I'm on some JC hate shit." No, Nathan Knight got skills, man. He just ain't,
I think that's a testament to John Collins' athletic ability and his desire to be a man. Like John Collins has proven himself from when he got out of college to now that he has become a man. That is,
he a dog now. He a dog. He got a dog, and he got a dog mentality. But it's a limited dog in him. You know what I'm saying? Ain't so much you can do in them fucking stupid ass fouls, man. Them stupid ass fouls.
If we could get him back 490, I'm down for JC. But if he's trying to hamper us and put us in a spot where we're not going to be able to compete later on,
we ain't willing to do that. We're not willing to do that.
We could trade him and still be friends with him. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, we done came too far, man, to make a fucked up stupid decision right now with JC. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. We friends, and I'm gonna pay you just because we like each other. Fuck that shit. Fuck that because you like Trey shit. We can find Trey another running mate. You know what I'm saying? That actually is gonna make him look better with the skills that he brings to the table. You know what I'm saying? Because with a better player at JC position, that's gonna elevate Trey's play. Now you got a motherfucker that do more on the court that's gonna make the defense have to defend more shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is gonna make it easier for Trey. Motherfuckers ain't goddamn now John do got like a little he got a mid-range jumper. I give him that. He got a little wet ass mid-range jumper that, you know, whenever he shoot it, he get a clear shot, he usually knock it down and he shoot that corner three. But if you gotta get that ball when they close out on you, you ain't got a shot, but you try to create something. Every time John get that fucking ball and try to make a move with the dribble, he gonna fucking double dribble that bitch. He gonna walk every fucking time, dog.
Yeah, and the thing is like, here's another thing. If we need a three and somebody's closing out and JC's taking that shot, he's not gonna pull.
No.
He's gonna pull up and start doing that dumb shit you were just talking about. With KP,
right.
If he wants to shoot and you're coming at him, it don't matter. He's 7'1" with a high release.
2 steps and he at the rim. 2 steps.
And that's the thing is, if you overplay that and he pump fakes, he will take you to the hole.
Like this on a bitch. Like this on a bitch.
You don't have to rely on the athleticism. The thing is, like, he wouldn't have to rely on the athleticism as far as that goes, as far as posterizing somebody. He's 7'1". The rim is literally right there.
But you gotta kind of realize, man, we hadn't did shit in forever as a team. You know what I'm saying? Since the damn 60-win team, we got to the Eastern Conference Finals. And you got all these fans that still like emotionally, they like, fuck that. This my team. This my team. We ain't bringing up our team type shit. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't thinking about the logistics of basketball and, you know what I'm saying, what we could do to elevate this team. You know what I'm saying? I'm constantly in that mode of what the fuck can we do to make this team better? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, everything too. It's like when people say something, even if it had Trey, and I'm gonna at least read it. You know, it's like
goddamn right.
No, or you know, at least think about it. It's like, does that fit? Does that fit? I mean, you can't leave any stone unturned after a year like this. Like, in my humble opinion, I think the Hawks are in a very unique situation. They could literally blow, or can make themselves, you know, a team to reckon with for at least 5 years from right now. I mean, everything more.
JC already shot closeout threes. Do y'all watch the game? JC is not consistently shooting no threes when somebody closing out on him.
No,
they ain't got close. They might be running out there, but they ain't got close to him by the time he shoot that damn shot. Now, DeAndre, he'll shoot that bitch right in your face. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about, closeout three. John ain't consistently shooting no closeout three because if a motherfucker get close to him, he gonna get fidgety. Every time they get close to him, he get fidgety and he get happy feet. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like his mind go faster than what his basketball body's supposed to be going. You know what I'm saying? And he forget to put the ball down before he start moving his feet.
And that's what I was explaining to Damon, is that's the difference between being an instinctual basketball player and being a basketball player that's being taught things where now you're processing shit. Those seconds.
He's an athlete. He's an athlete that plays basketball.
Exactly.
He's an athlete that plays basketball.
And it's sometimes, you know, he doesn't make the right, but when you're instinctual, that shit just happens. So it's different. When you watch an instinctual basketball player, it's different. It's a
different vibe. It's a different vibe. You know it when you see it. That ain't it. You know, he's good. But now if he could ever get some handles and improve on them instincts, if he could ever get some handles, man, and when the motherfucker come at him, he could pump fake their ass, put that ball on the ground and take a couple dribble, cross their ass over and with the athleticism he got, he could be a fucking killer. But I just don't think he got the body coordination and the mind to actually make that shit happen on that on the level that he needs to do.
Let me see if I can put this in a different way for people out there. What is your opinion of Richaun Holmes getting $20 million?
He's well worth it. He's well worth it. Huh?
You don't think he's worth it?
I said he's well worth it. He's well worth it. He brings a lot to the table. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hell, I might even say skill wise, he has more to offer on the offensive side than John does. You know what I'm saying? He got a runner. He shoots that fucking runner damn near all game long, and a bitch can't really stop him. You know what I'm saying? Because he already long. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, he's one of the top free agents. I really think John is as far as on the power forward list as he is because of the fact we had that long run. Now I don't think they going by, you know what I'm saying, personal production, because John didn't really produce all that well this year. Not like he has in the past. He was a good player. They keep saying he sacrifices, but he ain't sacrificed his goddamn production. I watched every damn game. He gave you everything he had and what he had was on that damn stat sheet at the end of the year. Everything he had to give was right there.
You are what you are, right?
You are what you are. You are what them numbers say you are. You know what I'm saying? And, Rashawn Holmes is a player, but see, he got the same issue that we got. Motherfuckers don't see him play because he out of Sacramento. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a basketball purgatory out that bitch. Because you very rarely see them play. You have to go pull up some tape on him and look at him, you know what I'm saying, before you actually are able to come to an opinion on him. You know what I'm saying? If you hadn't seen him play the game after game. And I'd damn near be more confident paying him than I would John Collins. The size contract that John's asking for.
Well, so what I was gonna go a different route with that. I was gonna say, because I love Rashawn Holmes. He's identified a role in the NBA, but now I've heard that he wants to be a starter and he wants $20 million. And to me, that's overvalued for him. Like you can get that same shit either from a drafted rookie and wait a couple years for him to get into that level of basketball player. Like it doesn't take a lot to get Rashawn Holmes. Like he's worth $8 to $12 million, but to me, $20 million is out of pocket. And that is more of what John Collins is. Like, so if you remove John Collins and put him on Sacramento and he had that non-playoff year, that's basically what Rashawn Holmes had. And now he's asking for, $20 million in a starting spot. To me, that's too much so if you were to remove JC from the Hawks, I think people can better identify the value, but you're saying that he's actually valued at around 20 and like everybody
because you gotta realize, man, 20 million nowadays is like 12 million was 10 years ago in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Just like you remember that bullshit contract Bazemore had? Yeah. Bazemore was getting 16, 17 fucking million. He really was a bitch player the whole fucking time. He was always a fucking round. He would never get hurt, would never get the fuck out your face. You know what I'm saying? So he was always available, so he was always useful to you. So that was his best thing because he never was consistent in doing anything except turning the fucking ball over on a break. You know what I'm saying? But
so have you
20, it sounds like a lot to us, but it ain't really a lot. Now John turning down 22.5, he trying to get up was close to 30. That's when I was like, man, look, 20, I'm cool with that because that's like normal money for a player.
If Rashawn Holmes, JC, if they end up getting 20, it's like, that's
cool. Yeah, that's cool.
But okay, I can roll with that. But when they start asking for the 30, like if Rashawn Holmes all of a sudden now wants 30, you would look at that. And that's what the Hawks fans have to look at. Like, this is all relatable, like these contracts. And so if John Collins wants to price himself out of Atlanta, you just got to get comfortable with that.
I'm gonna make you have to earn that. If you go asking for 30, you're gonna have to show me where you earned that in the course of your either last year or the course of your career. Show me where you done earned $30 million, and then you know what I'm saying, we can talk. But if you ain't coming with them numbers and you ain't coming with no production, man, look here, man. It ain't getting ready to go down that way. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna, if somebody gonna get fucked, it ain't gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. That's real. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And I want to take all the assurances that I can take as an organization to minimize the times that I'm going to get fucked in a situation, whether it's my own contracts or contracts that I'm bringing in. So,
and see, you got to, like I'm saying, just like we was talking about when we first came on, our window can open up this wide with the right decisions, or that bitch can close in this wide because we can put a anchor around our ankle with a badass contract that we can't get rid of later on. You know what I'm saying? If we give JC ain't valued by nobody at no 30, even though somebody might try to give him a contract that high just to be able to pull him, because you got lower tier teams trying to get better players that's gonna overpay motherfuckers to get them from you. Now, whether you decide to match that contract or not, it's gonna always be a bad contract. The NBA is full of bad fucking contracts. We had 3 or 4 of them sitting on the bench a couple years ago when we was goddamn rebuilding. Right. They're just sitting there. Ain't offering shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I got a little show note to say here. Sorry to interrupt you real quick.
But
Facebook user says shouldn't represent New Pac Nation. Just hold that thought real quick. They shouldn't represent New Pac Nation with this commentary. I'm assuming it's the anti JC commentary. And I promise everybody, this is we do not have any ill will towards John Collins, and we technically love the Hawks, is why we are looking at it from this perspective. But as far as the representation goes, trust me, we have Damon, we have Chauncey, we have Chris. We have when the show goes on Wednesdays, the people that represent here, they represent the whole new Pac City, and I do want you to believe that. But with that said, go ahead.
Hey man, look, I got a statement to make about John Collins for y'all getting y'all feeling. I love John Collins. Some of my best friends' names is John. I think we're gonna clear. We gonna leave that right there.
That is funny.
Shit. You know, it ain't personal, baby. It ain't personal. Get it? Y'all listen. It's not personal. Everything we're talking about is on the court. John is A1. He's a great dude. A1. We love him to death. He's our guy. We drafted him. We raised him. You know what I'm saying? He came to the sleepover, he dropped the Kool-Aid, all that shit. He wanted the family.
Exactly.
Always gonna be a home.
Yeah, if he goes on to do great things, he's always gonna be
room from over there. Room from over there. You know what I'm saying? But come on, man. We talking about making smart business. And y'all go back. I don't know if y'all heard it, but right after the season was over, Tony Russell came on Dukes and Bell, and he had an interview, and they was asking him about this John Collins situation with the goddamn free agency. And he kept repeating. I want y'all to listen to what he was saying. We're gonna pay our players what they worth, but we're going to run a smart business. Yes, we're going to throw money at our players and make sure that we got a good roster out there every year when we come out there, but we're going to make smart business decisions. You can do both. You can play your players good, and you can run a small business. Now, he kept reiterating the small business part.
Mm-hmm.
That's what...
In basketball, that's what fucks people up, is when they get something good, then they fumble it away. They fumble it away because they either get too invested in the player as a person, or they don't foresee what's going on, or they try to put too much into one season. Like the Nets have done this a lot. New York was notorious for doing this, where they would get somebody and all of a sudden trade everybody away and then get Carmelo Anthony in. You know, it's like
whose man's is this? Whose man's is this right here on this fuck? Who this Facebook? Whose man's is this, man?
Yeah, they talking about us not representing, and they saying that old ass Patrick Riley.
Patrick Riley ain't did shit since the Lakers.
Right.
Fuck you done, man. He did that old ass ring with them D Wade and Shaq. What the fuck you done did since?
Yeah,
come on, man, with that shit, man. Look, man. Look, let me show y'all something.
Hey, listen to this. He said y'all can be big mad when JC and All Star. That's exactly what we said we're not gonna be. There's no animosity towards JC. This isn't
how he gonna be all-star without a motherfucker throwing him 17 loops a game.
This isn't Joe Johnson.
He gotta be made all-star by another player. He can't do it. He can't go out and get it on his own.
Right. This isn't
come on, man.
This isn't Al Horford. This isn't Kent Bazemore. These aren't. This isn't a divisive decision. Like if John Collins is on the team, I'm good. I just think a smart basketball franchise is not going to look at John Collins' on-court performance and what he projects out to be and pay him anywhere close to $28 million a year. I just think that's bad basketball move. I love John Collins, but he may have priced himself out of Atlanta. Good for him, bad for the Hawks, but we good. If we can move them for a piece, we are good.
Let me tell you something about a player at his position that's worth that money. Let's go to Draymond Green, and let me show you the contributions that Draymond make on the court as opposed to what a JC does. You know what I'm saying? Draymond ain't a big time scorer, but Draymond gonna lock a bitch down. You can put him on anybody from the 1 to the 5. He gonna lock a bitch down. It's just like it's whatever. You already know what's gonna happen because he on some Rodman shit when he come to that defense. He gonna get the rebound, and also they facilitate the offense through him. He pushing the ball up the fucking floor every goddamn possession down there. You know what I'm saying? He got the ball in his hand probably 50% of the time. You got Curry over there running. He ain't got to handle the ball. He can run around picks, get open. Clay can run around picks, get open. And you got Draymond at the top of the key handling, facilitating the offense, getting everything started. Man, look.
I'd love to know that.
That's value. That's value. You contribute a lot. You offer a lot to the team. John ain't handling the ball. John ain't necessary. He ain't a real good defender. He a pretty good weak side defender. He'll come and get a weak side block every now and then. But on the ball, on the man ball, man, we seen got that. Man, we just saw
great idea.
Giannis, man, kind of put that man in the backboard every game, man.
Eddie, what do you think of this idea? How about if we invite this gentleman onto the show? to help us out with our conversation.
Yeah, come on here.
Yeah, it's as easy as that. Whoever this person is, we're gonna drop the link to the backstage in the show, and you follow that link. Come on, I'll bring you on. And as long as you're not completely an asshole, we'll have a conversation.
I don't think he want to show his face with them kind of comments though.
Let's see. Well,
come on with it, cause I gotta ask you a couple questions, buddy.
Well, there it is. It's in the post. So if you have to back out of the live broadcast to go to the post again, it's in that post. It's I think the only comment on it.
You got to get out that emotional shit, man. We ain't talking about nothing emotional, man. Everything we talking about is basketball related. You know what I'm saying? Basketball business related, man. You know what I'm saying? And on the court,
this would be
usage, man. It ain't got nothing to do with his personal.
Hey, supposedly it's Clifton. I love Clifton. I love all his comments.
Come on, Clifton. Clifton showing a week.
Come on in, Clifton. We would love to have your insight on this because we just fans. We looking at it as fans. This is for the fans, by the fans. I am a fan of basketball, and I only watch Atlanta Hawks basketball at this point in my life.
Yes. I did not watch one game in the playoffs in the finals.
Exactly.
I ain't watched one fucking game. I wasn't even interested. Didn't even want to see that bullshit.
Yeah, I got other shit to do in my life.
Huh?
I got other shit to do in my life. So if it's not
for real.
I don't want to see it anymore. I don't watch the Falcons because they're terrible, but I'm also in a different state, so it's hard to just fuck up and watch that shit. But
yeah.
But
I gotta watch. You gotta watch Kyle Pitts though. Kyle Pitts gonna put on the show.
Okay, so Clifton, you basically click the link, and then it's gonna tell you it's gonna direct you to some dots if you're on your mobile device, and for you to go actually onto Chrome. Chrome is probably the best website to use it, but basically just follow the website, give the program some permissions to use your camera and your mic, and then I'll see you backstage, and then I'll do all the rest. I'll do all the heavy lifting. You just follow that link to get to the backstage.
Hit that click here in the top right hand corner. Whenever you get on it, you see that click here up here. Hit that click here, and it'll lead you to the back.
Yeah, and then I'll do the rest. Like I said, we'd love some fresh ideas on here, man. Because I was actually concerned about the fact that Eddie and I, when we were going to do the show today, that we agree too much to do a show. Like we need disagreement, and you're providing the perfect balance with really reasoned thoughts. So we want to allow you to come out here and fully elaborate on that, no doubt. But with that said, man, fuck. I hope the Hawks, whatever they do, they make the right moves.
When is the draft? The draft this week coming up, ain't it?
The draft is on Thursday, July 29th. We will be.
Oh, that's 2 weeks from now.
No, it's next week. Today's the 24th.
Oh Lord.
I know. That's how I am. That's how I live my life. I had to look this shit up.
Hey, I'm there for the whole from both rounds too. I'm locked the fuck in the whole fucking 2 rounds.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one. For sure. I think I want to see I don't think there's going to be any more moments of when New York drafted KP and they all started booing. I don't think it's like that anymore. Do you?
I think a lot of people don't know who the fuck these players are. You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of name recognition like you had in the past few years. A lot of these players is like, I think a lot of shit got to do with the COVID. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But a lot of people just don't know who the fuck none of these players are besides the one that was on Gonzaga and the one that was on Baylor. You know what I'm saying? But it's not, like past years you had Zion, you had Cam Reddish, you had just all these players that you knew, you know what I'm saying? Because they was always hyped. They went to Duke, you know what I'm saying? Some went to North Carolina, and playing that name recognition.
Hold on real quick. Clifton, I sent that to your message. So go to your messages and try to follow the link from there. Mike had said that it doesn't look like it's part of the post. So I DM'd him. Anyways, go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, I think pandemic just kind of fucked up the college the college season anyway. You know what I'm saying? So people weren't really tuned into it. We was more tuned into because it shut the damn tournament down.
Yeah,
shut the tournament down. That's when a lot of people a lot of names are born. You know what I'm saying? And they had it later on, but then by that time, you know what I'm saying? It was just a weird situation, an awkward situation. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of these players when they get drafted by the team they're gonna go to, motherfucker have their phone in their hand going to Google and going to YouTube trying to figure out shit about them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. No,
if I had to name 5 players in this draft, my life depending on it, I'd be a dead motherfucker. Damn, for real. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't real shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't. It's not a lot of them that I know by name like that.
Man, because I don't watch the college season like I used to, so I do all of my exploration, and the thing is, like, we've been so bad, so the draft has been interesting as to who we're gonna play. So I've always been kind of a draft hound, and this year's no different. So I'm still kind of looking and what Damon says, I'm digging into trash. I dig into trash for basketball players because I look at basketball players. And then I'm like, hey, look, if they're on this team, they could do something because, like, you don't have to be the most gaudy looking player to be a good basketball player. I'm 5'10" at best. I go out there when I played at Georgia Tech and I was going to Georgia Tech, and I'd go out there and there'd be D1 athletes out there and I would dominate them or at least compete with them because of smarts, you know. And play basketball.
Know how to fucking play.
I know how to play. Like, you know, if you know how to play basketball, it doesn't matter about your physical attributes. Of course, it helps that, you know, I'm quick or this, that, and the other, but you got to excel. You got to know what you can do and then continue to do that. You know, it's like there's those players out there all the time. There's the Draymond Greens out there all the time. And so, yeah, it's digging in the trash, but at the same time, when you want to be a successful franchise, you got to find these people so that in year 2 or 3, now they become a piece that you can trade away for the winning formula, for the winning piece. You
gotta know how to identify talent, man. And once you done played and you done seen enough of players, you know what I'm saying, to be able to identify what's really good, solidified talent, then you know when you see it. You know it when you see it. You know what I'm saying? You know good weed. You smoking good weed all the fucking time. You know that fucking weed. You know that good strain when you see it. A bitch can't goddamn slide that bullshit past you because you know the good shit when you see it. It's just like playing basketball. It's anything else you pay attention to on a regular basis, man. If I see good players on a regular basis, I don't give a fuck if they say he the 70th ranked player in the damn far prospects go. This motherfucker got some talent, just like Sandro. I hope to God we get Sandro, man.
Hey, we brought him in for a look, so that was good. That's how I found out about him. Was
I hope to God we get that motherfucker, man, because I'm already telling you he gonna be an impact player. And see, they constantly harping on his athleticism. Them European players ain't never the most athletic motherfuckers on the court. But whenever you got a player that can run the offense from the high post, he can shoot. He already awkward with that lefty shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That motherfucker be an impact player on our offense day one. And we ain't got shit close to that on our team.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We ain't got nothing close to that.
I think we can definitely.
So we need it.
Because you know what we could do at that point is we could run a really tall lineup the rest of the way with him running the show, right? So if we get in the third quarter, that means we can have Cam at 2, we could have Dre at 3, we could have somebody tall at 4, somebody tall at 5. You know, I just think we can run a really long lineup.
It should make you so versatile with the shit that you can do. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I do know about Trav, he values skilled players and he values versatility. You know what I'm saying? I think I don't, just from me seeing the type of players that he's bringing over here, he fits that mold. He fits the Gallinars and the Bogies and the Kevs and you know what I'm saying? Everybody that we bring in is a motherfucker that can go get a bucket. We got a lot of bucket getters on this bitch now. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't think that's going to stop. The thing is, like, what we need to be prepared to do is to try to upgrade the Brandon Goodwins of our teams now. Now it's time for us to definitely get better. I hope we get a really good role-playing big man. I hope we get a point guard that's the backup for Trey. That's what I hope we use our money for.
You don't like Brandon Goodwin?
I think that's a place to upgrade. I think if I'm looking at the team, there's not many places to upgrade. And I think upgrading the backup point guard to some, I mean, he comes in and performs, but he has to give you his heart. He has to give you everything that he has to be just a regular NBA player. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need someone who accidentally is really good and can be even better. You know, we need something.
Yeah, just got more talent. He just like out talent motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Because Brandon's small.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He's,
he has to give so
everything
much.
I go right for him to win. Everything I go right for him to have a good night.
Right. And I just think, and I think that we would not be able to count on that in the playoffs like even for, we might get a night like a Shake Milton night or something like that out of him, but we couldn't throw him in and expect him to be like a Tobias Harris. Like, hey, this is your role, do that.
What you think about Skylar Mays?
Or not Tobias Harris, Mitas. I like him, man. I think he's got great stock. Like I like stocky guards that can move like that.
Yeah,
he's got
confidence. I like the spin move. I like the spin move he does going to the hole whenever he spin off the motherfucker and do that little layup shit. I like that shit.
Yeah, no, I like his game. That it's like, where does he play though? Because I just don't think he fits the role of backing up any of our players. I think Kevin Huerter and Cam and DeAndre kind of all play that wing behind Bogey. And
he can play either guard position.
You think so?
Pretty much. Yeah, or you gotta kind of try to pigeonhole him into point guard because he's kind of too small to play the two on a regular basis.
That's what I'm thinking. And like, does he provide a big enough difference from what Trey is, or can he run the pick and roll like Trey does so we don't lose too much?
I think he does because to me he plays with an old school mentality. He got like an old school vibe out of when he on the court. You know what I'm saying? He's tough as nails. You know what I'm saying? He just makes the fucking right play at the right time. You know what I'm saying? And he seems like he got the
he's kind of like
Joe propensity to make a big play, huh?
He's like a Joe Dumars. Like he's not gonna fumble the ball out of bounds when you need him. It's like I think
he got the knack for making that big play. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I like him. I feel like we should keep trying to hone him and develop him. I feel like he got a place on the team.
Here we go. We got our friend here. What's going on? Everybody welcome Clifton Crowley, new Pac City member.
I can't see his damn thing because it's just.
What's up?
I gotta figure out what the hell going on with my phone. I can't even see him.
Yeah. Hey, number one, man, I'm on this call. Y'all saying some wild stuff. You compare Rashawn Holmes to John Collins and say Rashawn Holmes is better or more skilled. Am I correct? That's what you were saying?
I think Eddie said that, yes.
That's ridiculous. Just that alone was like, okay, that's a bias. Now you're getting to the point where you're showing a bias. That is ridiculous. John Collins has a 3, a mid-range, can score at all 3 levels, rebounds better, and is much more athletic than this guy Holmes is. Now, I like Holmes. I'm not going to disrespect that dude, that brother. He's working his game.
I think I agree with you on this, Clifton. I think what I was trying to say is that what I was trying to compare is that Rashawn Holmes from the outside looking in, as everybody else would be to JC for us, on the outside looking in on Rashawn Holmes, he's a good player. Like, is he worth more than 20 million? There's no way to me he's worth 20 million and a guaranteed starting spot. So
I don't know. That's what's with Sacramento to decide. To me, he's not. But when he comes in, he's productive. He's 27, finna be 28 this year. I don't know what his ceiling is gonna be. He's not as athletic. He's a big guy. He has that weird push motion shot that he uses at extreme levels that he's really perfect. I don't think.
Man, I'm gonna get off, man, because I can't see him. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and finish it up, man.
I want to also address this. You guys undervalue JC. And that is what is really perplexing to me because I have to check his advanced stats. His advanced stats are better than KP's. He shoots at a higher percentage with less shots. He shoots 40% from 3. He's one of the best rollers as a finisher in the league, and he hits at 80% clip, or better 80% clip of his free throws. It's perplexing the level at which you undervalue that. Not just that, but his activity as well. He was willing to bang. KP don't bang. KP didn't bang in New York. That's why they traded his ass. KP is a malcontent in Dallas.
So we agree if he wants to bang, but JC has proven to be too small so far. He's not in the Demond program. He gets pushed around. He gets pushed around,
but he's willing to go in there and mix it up. And he does that without fail. And he's durable. He gets laid on the ground all the time, and he still gets back up and he plays. The only time he missed that time he took that substance abuse thing,
which he was probably doing because somebody told him that he's too goddamn light in the butt.
But he bangs and he's willing to work on it. Is he grown? He's only 23, so he's gonna grow into that. There are
you value in that. Let's get to the.
There are deficiencies in his game? Absolutely.
Where do you value right now? He's up for contract right now. Where is your value? What is? Like, what's the dollar value in today's NBA?
I mean, the market dictates that. This is a capsule.
Not for us. Not for us. The market dictates his contract, but not what we're going to pay
his
him.
value to the team is he's the second best player, though. Okay. And at this point, he's the second best player on the team. So he has to get paid.
Is he the second best player? Is he the best?
Yes. Yes, he is.
Is he the best
power forward in the league, dude?
Is he the best power forward on our team?
Yes.
He's better than Gallo. He's better than Gallo.
Yes, he is. Okay. He's better than Gallo. Yes. Okay. That's why he starts and Gallo comes off the bench because he's better. And not only is he better, he went from being a roller, pick and roll scorer to being a stretch big in one season and still kept up a high efficiency. Matter of fact, his efficiency is so high that other people in the league want him so bad. That's why Pat Riley wants him. That's why Dallas wants him.
I'm saying
that's why everybody else wants him.
Clifton, listen. So what I'm saying is this: so now you have to look at it like this for real. We offered him a 4-year, $90 million contract. So that's what our Hawks franchise valued him at, right?
At that point, correct.
At that point, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And now we made a qualifying offer to say that anyone that throws the money, we have the ability to match.
That means that we have a line. That means there's a rift in our camps that we can't come together. He wants higher than what we want to pay him, right?
Yes, at this point. Right.
So
we don't know because on the first starts, we
know this. We know this. So what we know is that a tough decision is going to have to be made by an organization. What I'm asking you, you're the organization. What is that line? What is that contract that you are willing to pay this man? And that's the line that you're not willing to step
Max money is 125, right?
Okay.
No one can match that. We can. So and we think of it as in like 4 years, 125, correct?
4 years, we can offer him
5 years at 125.
We can sign him up to like 170 at 5 years.
We're the only ones that can give him 5. The other teams can only offer 4.
Yeah, and we can sign him 5, and we can give him. And I think max is 125. We can eat that. That's not a bad deal.
We can.
Huh?
Of course we can. But do we want to? Will that make us a successful franchise 2 years down the line?
Why wouldn't it? Because he's going to get better.
Because you have DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish, and then you have to pay Kevin Huerter.
Other guys are coming off the books, man. We're going to Galley coming off the books, Bogey coming off the books. And other guys coming off the books. Yeah, we can pay those guys, and then we can make decisions on Huerter, for example. We can make decisions on. We don't know what Cam's going to be in 2 to 3 years. We don't know what Huerter's going to be in 2 to 3 years. We don't know what we don't even know if Hunter's going to come back fully healthy with that knee issue or how consistent that issue is going to be for him or for Cam. So
I would rather John Collins to be on our team, but he is not skilled like the number 2 player on our team. I would go Trae Young. I would go DeAndre Hunter. I would go.
What skill? I mean, if you're like one of the number 1 rollers in the league, obviously you're pretty fucking elite, right?
Okay, but if
so what does that mean?
But what's the difference between the number 1 roller and the number 60 roller though? Like to be a good roller,
man. If we set the offense up to where we let John be the focal point of our pick and roll
instead of good roller?
Instead of Capella. Capella's a great roller, but Capella isn't probably the best option in my opinion because John can score at all 3 levels. John can pick and pop. John can hit a mid-range. John can hit a floater. Capella can only hit you with the dunk, and if he missed that, you were done because he can't do nothing on the free throw line. So I don't know. Again, if we put our offense back to that, John is a 20-plus scorer.
Again, my only point is this: is that the organization is going to have a tough decision. What is your line? Because I've already stated my line.
They're going to have a consistent tough decision from this point forward, but that's why we got a GM.
Clifton,
I don't know.
My line is 4-1-14. That's my line. Anything above that, I think the Hawks are making a bad decision. What is your line?
I would give him the max and nothing over that max. The max is 125. That's the most I would give him, but I wouldn't give him more. I wouldn't sign him to what is it, 170 in 5 years, Desmond?
That's max.
I thought max is 125.
Max is just do 5 times 30, basically. 5 times 25, 30 is gonna put you around his max range. So it'd be if you do.
I won't pay him more than 25 a year. If it's at
Okay.
25, that's where I would put him. I have 25 per year.
So 25 times 5 is
one at 124 at 125 is like basically 30. Goddamn, Alexa just told me and I just forgot, but it's up there. It's high. It's like 35 mil a year.
He said, but you can do if you can do 5 125.
He's not going to take that. Why would he take that?
No.
Why wouldn't he? Because you got the length. Because you got the length of the contract.
You know what?
He's not going to take that. Nobody would take
at this point,
more years. We wouldn't take that.
Lou, you're going to sit there and say nobody would take that, but y'all upset he didn't take 4 years, 90 million. Come on, man. Listen.
I'm not upset.
Yes, y'all are. Listen to me.
No, I've explained to you how I thought that his dude. We've even said that his agents, that was brilliant because he's already noticed that everybody else in his draft class.
You know what? But none of this stuff matters now because guess what? You drew your line at 114.
Yes, that's my line.
A team gonna beat that easy. You think a team?
Right.
Let me tell you something. Man. And I try to explain this to y'all. When another team wants your player, they know they have to make an offer that you're not going to match. So at 114, they're going to beat that easy. They're going to beat that easy. So you're going to lose John Collins for nothing for $114 million over 4 years. So those 3 years of investment that we did in developing this player is just gone out the window. Nothing in return.
We can't do a sign and trade, then yeah. That would be the worst case scenario.
The only reason I would take KP is if you give me something else besides KP. Like you're gonna have to give me something else because KP is making 30 plus million. You're paying the same amount you'd be paying John anyway. So
but watch this. Watch this though, Cliff. Watch this. Dallas, they don't have to do, and this is what I've been trying to explain to people. Other teams don't have to do a sign and trade. All they have to do, say Dallas want Collins that bad, right? All they got to do is clear the cap space, right? And then they could make an offer. So say they offer 120 and Lou like, okay, I don't want to pay that. They can just sign him outright and suck in his salary, and you don't get nothing in return.
That's a hard happen. But I would say that Collins wouldn't do that just because Collins wants to get the bird rights and have the ability to get like the long-term contract if necessary.
Yeah, why do you do sign and trades? Because there's
say that again, Lou.
Why do teams do sign and trades? Like it's not as
because it's different reasons.
Making it.
It's different reasons. Some do sign and trade because they can't absorb the cap. So what they do is they say, since we can't absorb his salary, we're going to push salary out. That's why you see when these all NBA players get traded, they're usually 3-team deals because they got to move the money to absorb the contract. But if you clear cap space, you don't have to do that. That's what I've been trying to explain to people. So when you say, oh, this is my final offer. Okay. So a team just going to be like, you know what?
That's what happened with Bogey. That's exactly what happened to Bogey.
Yeah, that's why Sacramento didn't get nothing for Bogey. They lost him for nothing.
Because they didn't care about Bogey. Bogey wasn't in their future.
No, it's not about caring about, bro. It's not about caring about. Listen.
If you're
not
a gambler,
about caring about Bogey.
If you're a gambler,
it's about. Hey, look, if you go look,
if you're a gambler, listen to this. So listen to my retort real quick. Listen to my retort. If you're a gambler, if you're a gambler at Travis Schlenk and you're putting him out on a restricted free agent and you're telling teams and all of a sudden, you know, like, okay, that's more than what you want to pay, but you're not going to let the other team know that. You're just going to say, I'm going to max him. So give me something. Either give me something or I'm going to max him and you're not going to get him.
And this is what I tried to explain to y'all like 5 days ago. They already know Atlanta not going to max him.
I don't know that they're not going to max him. How do you know they're not going to max him?
I'm about to tell you right now, Lou.
It's not a dumb decision as y'all are saying.
Lou,
have JC at 31 is not a dumb decision.
Listen to me, Lou. If we was going to max him, one, we wouldn't have offered 4 for 90 if we thought he was a max player.
He wasn't a max player.
Look, watch this, Lou. Go look at all the players who signed their deals before the season started. Look at the superstar. Look at the star players who signed their deals. They get max money. So listen, if I thought Collins was worth, say I thought Collins was a max player, do you think I'm gonna go and offer him 4 years and $90 million as my first offer? No. If I thought you was a max player, I'm gonna offer you max money. I'm not going to wait till you go to restricted free agency to make another team force me to pay you max money. Because if I thought you was a max player, that'd have been my offer from jump. Or it wouldn't have been $490. It may have been like $4,110 if I thought you was worth a damn.
Personally, I think Collins will get in around 115, but I think that's where they'll settle. And because I don't think Collins wants to leave. I think that's a personal thing. I think he'll settle at 115. But to say that he could be worth more if he demanded more,
right?
And if his agent forced the issue, Collins is out of here.
Exactly.
Yeah, and because the other teams are gonna want him.
Exactly.
And they're gonna make it. I'm gonna give you an example. San Antonio want him as his focal point.
Why will San Antonio not start a rebuild? Like they just keep treading right at that number 8 spot in the West.
He would be
that would drive me crazy.
He would be similar to a Tim Duncan for them because they have all these shooters and they could put him in and he would be their role guy and their centerpiece for their new restart at power forward. And if I was Collins, I would take it. Just saying.
You know what, Cliff? Off that example, guess who leaving San Antonio?
Not
DeRozan. Guess how much money coming off the books? Almost 30,000. I mean 30 million.
If you listen to San Antonio, they're not talking about moving DeRozan. They want to keep DeRozan. They're talking about moving DeJohn Murray.
Bro, DeRozan a free agent this year.
He out of here. DeRozan out of here. He trying to go.
He a free agent, bro. He gone.
He going to LA.
If I remember correctly, he a free agent this year, right?
Yep. And
DeRozan probably go to LA, but if San Antonio
so that clear cap space, so they could make an offer and sign Collins outright.
Yeah, they can sign him outright
and absorb his. They can absorb his contract without doing a sign trade. They won't need no help in getting him. You see what I'm saying? That's what I've been trying to explain to people. The sign and trade is done for different reasons. Some to absorb cap. Some so the player, prime example, LeBron James, when he left Cleveland, he didn't have to do a sign and trade with Cleveland. But he said he chose to do the sign and trade, so he didn't leave Cleveland with nothing. Because LeBron, when he went to Miami, that's the sign and trade, right?
I don't think he would have said that because that sounds like some tampering shit if I've ever heard.
That's a sign and trade, bro. It ain't tampering when it's already done, dog. He said it after the fact. That ain't tampering when it's already done.
It could be. I mean, those guys colluded to go to Miami.
They collude all the time, man.
So
Everybody knows
that in essence it is tampering, but of course it's LeBron James. He's a different beast.
He in his own.
This is my point. Is since we have no reason not to be willing and we are capable of signing any offer, the only way a team is really going to get JC from us is if they give us a sign and trade. Everybody knows that. If somebody's already willing to pay,
that's why they offered the qualifier.
Or they could just. Oh, know what they could do?
You want to talk
about? What they could do, Lou?
Go ahead. What?
They could force the Hawks to pay more than they want to pay.
Exactly. That's what I don't want to happen.
They could do that.
I don't.
And that's what I tried to explain that to y'all a couple days ago too.
Y'all like, no, that can't happen. Clifton, I do want to tell you this because Mike, when he brought this up, the only reason why we were all kind of interested in the first place was actually definitely not KP on my part. It was only after seeing highlights of KP that I'm like, all right, yeah, KP, fuck yeah. But Jalen Brunson was the reason why Mike liked him, because he would fulfill the backup role as a backup point guard too.
I remember when they first posted that deal. I just don't see the Mavericks doing that. That would be
silly, right?
Yeah, that would be ridiculously stupid. But you're giving up your second point guard for and KP for John Collins. That doesn't make sense. I don't even think it's economically feasible either. When you think about it, I'm not sure what Jalen Brunson's contract is.
I think that would be completely dependent on John Collins' new signed contract. Yep.
Brunson, you got to match the money. Brunson made $4 million a year, I think. I know he made that last year. I don't know if he's a free agent now. Last year he made.
You don't have to match completely. You have to be percentage away from each other.
Exactly, dude. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. $4 million plus KP.
KP's like 31 million already.
KP's already over 30. That means Dallas will have to make. They will have to sign Collins to at least 25 million a year. At least 25 million, and then. You probably gonna have to throw in a pick or something. Probably throw in a pick to make it work. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I ain't worried about it. I don't know goddamn Jalen Brunson. I ain't giving him no Collins for no fucking Jalen Brunson. Hell the fuck no.
I mean, I don't see that being a feasible option either. I think for Atlanta, it makes sense to offer John 115 and shut it down. And at that point, you have to really start considering signing trades. But to say that he's not worth the money, I think that's not true. John is worth the money. It's just that we're not in a position necessarily to extend into that area to where he getting, $30 million a year. Plus,
I think that was a misunderstanding that you and I were having because of Eddie's grandiose idea on KP. But I completely agree with everything you said. Like there's a number that JC has on him. I wish it was the 490, and if everything aligned right, JC would be like, hey, look, I could get 490. By the time my next contract comes up, I'd be 28. And if I really, really, really do deserve it, I
wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even ask JC to do that.
I wouldn't ask him, but actually, if you've watched the episode, I actually said that exact same thing as a counter. I wouldn't if I was JC, but if I was the people telling him. But if I was JC, I would look at it this way. I'd be like, not much more than what the 490 is. The team still gets to coalesce. We get to probably win championships just because we are undervalued. We have so many players that are under their contract. I mean, DeAndre's under his contract, Trey's under his contract, Kevin's under his contract. Everybody's so undervalued right now that we could get away with overpaying JC. But if JC just came in at that right number, we would get a free agent because we'd have more money to spend on a free agent. Get a big body.
I'm gonna tell you now, 114 not gonna cut it, bro. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna say that. Why I say that.
That's that point. After that point, JC's got to make a decision for him.
You know what you got to do, Lou? You got to find out what's the max the other team can offer. They can do 4 years. What? 120, somewhere around there.
Let me find
this.
If
they do a sign and trade, then they can offer.
So if your number is 114, and another team, because they're gonna know what it is, because you're gonna make an offer to them.
Like I said, here's your problem. Here's your problem is like we would be willing to then overpay for John Collins. And if any open up a trade deadline, we'll try to make a move there or keep him to the end of the season. We are not in any bad shape by overpaying John Collins for this year. We wouldn't.
Why are you crying? Why are you crying about it then?
Yeah, that's why I don't understand. And the undervaluing of him too, because just because KP, like for example, KP to me doesn't bang. And like he didn't bang in New York enough to where I would be like, it's to be a 7-1 center. If he was like on some Giannis shit and then stepping back and hitting those threes, but he's not. He floats around the perimeter. He tries to be very finesse. He doesn't bang. He doesn't do the little things that John more than willingly does. Now, is John 7 foot? Does John have exceptional length? No. He makes up for it with explosiveness, because he's an explosive leaper, and he makes up for it with just want to. This dude came in the league. He didn't have a shot. Like he didn't have a jumper, and he's since then developed into a 40% shooter. Now I say when he closed, and I've heard.
Hold on real quick, Clifton. Let me channel my inner Michael. He had a jumper. He had a jumper coming into the NBA. He just got better at it. He just extended the range on it. I mean, if you look at his form, all he had was one small hiccup in his getty up on how he gathered. They fixed that his first year, and he's been money ever since. Like he had the skills. Like that's challenging my inner Michael.
And now it's about improving. So you're saying when people close out, he hesitates. But that's a time issue. And that's a time issue. Soon he's not going to be hesitating. You know what I'm saying? Soon he'll be able just to a sidestep and hit that three because he has to get the volume up to be able to do that. He's already at 40% catch and shoot rate right now. If you notice, John can move and hit a jump shot in midi. I think he should do it more. If you watch him now, he also does the fadeaway. Something he should do more.
Do you know what this team needs him to do? This team needs him to be on the post, get the ball with the back to the basket, and then make a play.
They don't play that style of offense though. And that's the thing. They play
Exactly.
When everything slows down, what is the most efficient way to get a bucket in basketball?
No.
Without the pick and roll is the best fucking play.
You
What's
trying
the
to ask a
What's
question?
the next? What's the next? It's a post play.
He just told you we don't play like that. So why would you come back with a question like that?
We don't play like that. So when Gallinari goes on the post, so when Gallinari comes in the third quarter and we give the ball to him and everything runs off of his fucking post move, what are y'all talking about? Come on,
John, even with
NBA basketball.
Look at that game. Look at how that works. John, he gets the post. He gets in the post. He backs him down. It eats up a ton of clock. Other guys just kind of stand around. And if Gally misses, it's done. And we don't run plays off that. You understand what I'm saying? We're not running an offense off that. That's just one as we're utilizing.
Listen. This is what I'm trying to say. Like there's plays in basketball, which is kind of like that shit that Nate introduced, where he has Herder and Bogey start at the very low underneath the rim and then pop flare out. That's a play. I'm talking about something that gets you a bucket is either pick and roll in NBA in any basketball league. If you go to anywhere, what will get you a bucket or an opportunity is pick and roll and post basketball. Period. So when everything breaks down, we need to be able to have somebody on our team we can dump the ball into. Come on, guys.
Guess what? Maybe we need to get rid of your boy then, because he don't score no points in a post.
Who?
Capella.
Yeah,
Capella.
Specialized player. That's like saying
no.
Now you get rid of Cal Korver because he doesn't do something else. Come on, you making
excuses, Lou. You making excuses.
I'm not making excuses. I'm telling you the reasoning.
Just sit there and say he can't fucking score in the post.
Say
that.
You don't need him to because he's an amazing
exactly. But see, you understand that's a contradiction because we don't run an offense that signatures Collins in the post.
No, I'm saying
we ran an offense. Initially, we ran an offense where JC was the roller in an offense, and now we run an offense when JC is on the perimeter. If we ran an offense in which JC was in the post, then JC he's what I would consider a jack of all trades type of player. He can do so many different things. If we want him to be a post player, then we have to make an offense that centers him as a post player, and currently we do not. We should, in my opinion, center him back to the pick and roll because he's a better pick and roll option than Capella because he can score at all three levels. We're not doing that. I don't know why. I don't know why that. I mean, obviously Capella is a great pick and roller himself, but I think because Capella has so many limitations in his scoring ability and at the free throw line, we should go back to using John more. But then it goes into we're now limiting ourselves in the space and pace.
All right, so it seems like the best way to upgrade our team then is to keep JC at 114 and upgrade the center position.
That's what I would say. I would say put someone that's more of a, if we could find it, like a Brooks, Lopez, like a Lopez.
His brother's out there.
He can't hit threes.
I don't know what his brother can do.
Robert can't do nothing. That's why he out the league.
Yeah, he can't hit threes. So there's no big that can give you that. I mean, there's some Gordy Dean can do that, but he's not a starting center.
Also remember Brook Lopez. Now Brook Lopez was a baller in Brooklyn, so it ain't like he was some scrub.
Yeah, he's huge. You know.
Yeah, I'm just saying like Brook Lopez just took a back seat to Giannis and them, but when he was in the Nets, that boy was putting up numbers. So
do you see us kind of moving where Gallo plays more of a center role in this team, like a backup scoring center?
He did this year. He played.
Yeah. Do you think he'll take more on that role? Because I expected him to be more on the outside, but he actually was our inside presence.
He was our big when we needed one. Because unfortunately, we don't have any bigs. We have 6'10" guys, and then we have a 6'9" rookie that played as a center. Mm-hmm. Which, while I know, no offense to Double O, I think he's going to be an effective player. But when you're matched up against Embiid and Brook Lopez, you're going to be 8. You know what I'm saying? And he did. Collins got 8.
He still held his own.
He held his own against Giannis, but a little bit. But I mean, Giannis is gonna dunk on that dude pretty much every time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's gonna dunk on that dude. You know?
Oh yeah, I think it was against Gallo. There was a spin move that Giannis did, and it was so fast. It was so. I was like taking him. I was like, whoa.
Think about this. Think about this though. When we have 2 undersized bigs or undersized centers, and we went through New York, we went through Philly, and we gave a fight to Giannis. Even though Giannis went out, we didn't have Trey. And in the last game, I still don't think we had Trey. I thought Trey actually hurt us more and helped us in that last game, to be honest. Yeah. But so we had an offense that worked around the fact we don't have giant bigs. And that tells you that the space and pace can work. Similarly to how Golden State ran around giant bigs when they had, they had Pachulia. That's not a center that's gonna strike any fear. So I think it can work. I would like it better if we had a big that could defend and shoot the 3 on the outside. Maybe in the future we'll have that. I don't know who could that be. That would be the ideal. But right now we don't have that. And again, if we had Trey, I don't think I think we would have gave Bucks a good chance. Just with Trey. Now imagine if we added
DeAndre,
a healthy DeAndre to that, and
imagine if we also in free agent add something else. Like guys, let's not limit ourselves to just this roster. We need someone that can bang with a big body.
You can know out
there, and we do.
We can do that.
That's what I'm saying. Do we package a couple of our assets to go out there and try to lure I don't want to say it in front of Damon, but like a Cat or something like a John or Valanciunas,
when people say that, Minnesota's not getting rid of Cat.
I don't think
that's just not. And I don't know why people keep mentioning that. Minnesota's not
exactly. Minnesota's not getting rid of Cat, and also Memphis is not going to get rid of Giannis. Valanciunas, but he's going to be a free agent next year faster than anybody else.
They're going to pay that man because
so if they don't, I would love to at least be in that conversation because that man is a bucket for us. But there's also his twin in the league, which is the guy that is in Chicago who tortured us in Orlando forever. They may be disgruntled there. We might get a second tier Giannis and kick the door on that. It's like we identified what we wanted.
Who you talking? Dude from Orlando?
Yeah, dude from Orlando. Valanciunas that went to Chicago. He's
Vucevic.
You know how much Vucevic made?
$20 million. I don't know.
Hey, fellas, I gotta go, man. I gotta go to work.
Well, hold on, real quick. I just want to keep you on real quick. I just want to praise you for coming on, dude. You came on. You stated your point. You fucking did it amazingly. If you anytime you ever want to come back on, you let me know. We now friends on Facebook, so just let me know, man.
All right. No problem, man. All right,
loved it. All right, man. What's that?
That's my first time ever seen him. Now I haven't even seen him go live before.
Oh, I know, dude. The dude, calm, collected, and just delivered the facts. And
came with the bullet point, came with numbers and stuff.
Came with shit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That, bro.
And like I said, this is literally for the fans, by the fans. So if you have something and just saying it in the comments isn't getting it, get at us, get on here. This is the whole point of this. It's really easy to do. So that's the genesis of that. So I thought that was wonderful, dude. He came in, but the thing is what I'm saying is that we ended up agreeing. I mean, it was like what Mike said. He came on and debated, but he doesn't want to pay him max either, and so ultimately he agreed with me. It's like there's a number. His was 1 million more than mine.
I said, but Lou, I've been telling y'all that, man. I've been saying it's a number that the Hawks have, right? That a team could make you overpay to keep Collins.
Yes.
That I've been saying that, and y'all been hopping on my ass talking about that ain't right. I'm like, what? It's a number, Lou. Think about it, Lou. Watch this, Lou. If this is Trae Young's contract, right? That first offer is going to be max money, right? Because you think he a max player, right?
Right.
You don't think Collins is a max player, so you don't offer him max money.
Okay.
But for at 90, what I'm thinking is that Travis was trying to sign Collins at the market rate of them other players who signed their deals, like the Sabonuses.
Exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That was his play. Somebody think Collins is better than that.
Right.
Plus, the agent knew the cap gonna go up. The agent knew, oh, you're gonna be the highest power forward because all them other people already signed their deal. So if I'm another team, if I'm the Heat and I want Collins, trust me, I already know you don't think he a max player, or you would already gave him money.
But do they know we're not willing to pay him max money? There is a fucking difference. The Hawks are gonna pay him max money. They're not just gonna lose him.
Then why not offer it from the jump? If you listen, and I know what you're gonna say. Let me finish. I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say because that's not how you bargain. But watch this though.
No, because they literally thought he was gonna sign for $490.
No, they didn't think that.
No, why not?
They didn't think that.
$10 million more than Sabonis, who is right at the cusp. But I think Sabonis and
you know why?
It's like this.
Because Lou, they talk to them agents. Them agents and GMs talk.
That's fine.
You're gonna sit here, Lou. You're gonna sit here and tell me. His agent didn't let Travis know what he think Collins' worth is. He does.
Yeah, after he let him know $490.
he told him what he thought his worth was.
After he said
Travis don't think that. Travis at the time, Travis didn't think that.
Give me 1 second. Let me get my mic. My fucking mouse has been cutting in and out every 10 seconds.
Okay.
So you gotta let me let it warm up for me to get Mike on the show real quick.
Okay.
But anyway, go ahead. I was just letting him know so he doesn't.
Okay, but I guarantee you, if we not go max, I don't think we gonna pay him max money. To be honest, I don't think so. I think what's gonna happen. I think another team gonna come in with that 4-year max money deal, and we're not gonna offer max. But hopefully, I'm hoping Travis and them are talking to Collins now and saying, "Hey, we really want you here. Can you sign at this rate? Because we're trying to do A, B, C, and D down the line." Because you got to have that communication there, so players understand what you're trying to do. Because you just throw a contract out there, player think you just probably lowballing him or whatever. But if you explain what the plan is, hey,
they don't think he's low. I don't think there's anything in the camp misunderstood about the desire to have him on the team. I don't think anybody. I don't think there's any confusion on the desires for the two camps.
We'll see how bad Collins want to be here when that free agency over.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And a lot of things like a lot of this is more on. To me, a lot of this is more on Collins than it is the Hawks. And I just want to welcome everybody. Michael A. Smith, our very own expert in the background. What's going on, man? I don't know if you can hear us, but can you hear us, Mike?
We can't hear him. I can't hear Mike. Can you hear him?
Oh, no, I just...
Hey. I'm about to say he had muted me for a second. So I thought he was...
You got your windows open, don't you?
Because the wind blowing on your mic.
Oh, man. Oh, okay. I feel you. I understand. So, but I just wanted to jump on real quick. I really was trying to catch bro, man. I was gonna say I was disappointed in him, man.
Why is that? I'm sure he'll get back on one day.
Nah, man,
I'm out, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all, man.
All right, Devon. I appreciate you stopping by, man.
Just real quick. I was just gonna say I was disappointed because man, I don't know, it's just a whole bunch of unnecessary debating and back and forth. Then, man, if you don't believe he maxed himself, I'm like, well, that's just weird to me. I thought for sure he was cool with paying him max. But
right,
and then that's the whole discussion. That's why it comes up.
I know, and I think that was the misunderstanding. Is like, there's no not desiring JC. Like, we want John Collins. We just want the Hawks to be really smart in this decision because, like, there's got to be a cap because we know that JC is limited. And if he's being overvalued by other teams, this would be a good time to tell other teams that we're going to pay JC max no matter what. And if you want him, you got to come up off something. They're not mutually exclusive situations. Like, you can be a hard ass GM and also value a player.
Yeah.
So what I think is that the Hawks value him. They valued him exactly at 490, which is 10 million more than what Sabonis is getting. So that means it's 5 million more than probably what he's worth. And honestly, it's we have a situation now where we have a piece and a bunch of other assets that we don't need right now that are overvalued.
Yeah, I mean it's a perfect, because like I said, I mean I feel like Damon was just talking about it, and I feel like I've harped on it for like the last few times or whatnot though. But it's just a perfect situation for John Collins. I mean, it's lining up time wise and everything where he's not gonna get anything short of the max, you know. And then on top of two, you have to understand the teams have to spend a certain amount of money. So yeah, it's gonna be plenty. Now the only thing now I understand what Damon is saying. I'm just saying that no matter what, it's our decision.
Right.
Even if he walked or whatever, that's our decision for
Right.
him to walk. It's not necessarily JC's decision to leave us per se.
Here's the
because
question:
he's a free agent.
Is allowing him to walk a better if nobody? Okay, here's the other part. If nobody's pressuring you into a max contract, right? Nobody's pressuring you into a max contract. Is it better to pay him max or to let him walk?
I believe it's better to pay him max because yeah, I mean, keeping him, we actually have more money to work with than we do versus like letting him go. Which is, I don't know. I don't necessarily know how all that works though, but that's the case. And yeah, you keep him for what? What would be the max? Is it 7 years? Y'all said something. What somebody said?
5 years would be his max, 170, 168.
See, that's the thing. In 5 years, man, I'd rather 4, but 5 years though, I mean, it probably is what it is.
We can max him at 4 or we can max him at 5. If we max him at 5, that's a super max. So he gets more money plus he gets a bonus.
He 5th year. He probably want that 5th year. If he can get it, he gonna stay.
I don't know. Do you think okay, so what's 490? What's 5 year? What's 5 years number at 490's rate? Hold on.
I don't know. Probably like 120, 115, 120. Right? And I think that's what Clifton was saying that he was comfortable with. Like what, 115, 120?
Hold on, Mike.
But Jason Tatum been signed already. Donovan Mitchell, like everybody from their draft class besides him in marketing. Those are the only 2 players they the only 2 who's really available right now.
All right, so 5 years at 114 would be the same thing as 490, just an extra year.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. That wouldn't be too much of an issue because but that wouldn't even be max though. Still, right? Yeah, of course we know that wouldn't be max, but that
would be thinking that JC is not. The JC's thinking that he's not going to get a better contract than he is this year at 28.
It's 2 sides to this. If I'm John Collins or whatever, like yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why I kind of keep that in mind too. Like John Collins, he getting max, man. Like he going to, and like people say that he never said he wanted to be a max player, and I'm like, that's a damn lie. Like they said that when they turned down the first contract. You know what I'm saying? It was said from jump. You know. Like, other than that, he's not doing that. He's not turning down that contract off of a suspension, off of, like, no all-star appearances, no, not even all NBA nod, no all defensive teams. No, none of that. I understand his proficiencies and stuff like that, but hell, analytics got Houston to where they are. You feel me? So,
right.
It's like, yeah, I mean, he want max, and I don't blame him, though. It's good timing for him, And he positioned himself to be the best available right now.
I just think there's no way that the Hawks aren't letting teams know. Like there's no way the Hawks aren't letting teams know that they're willing to pay max for John Collins this year. Like it would be stupid to let him go into restricted free agency without them knowing that.
A max deal. I just think that we're reluctant to probably do it, but I think that we will match a max deal. But at the same time, though, I will not be one crying if there was a sign and trade. Now, right. I'll be upset if he walked. If John Collins walked up out here for nothing,
it'll be Al Horford all over again.
It will almost erase everything Travis has done to this point for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I know everybody hear me nitpick John Collins' game and stuff like that, though, but I want them to understand that. Like, I do feel that way. If John Collins walked up out of here, I'm not disrespectful like some folks I've seen, just like, oh, let him walk. Like, that's just stupid. That's bad business. That would literally erase everything, man. Like, if we didn't have Trae Young, it definitely erased everything that John Travis has ever done. But yeah, he can't do that. All you can do is either max him or sign and trade. That's it. I mean, I'm just saying that I believe a sign and trade will happen because, can happen because the Mavs already shown that teams are willing to do that. And then in order for you to like get John Collins to accept your offer sheet, because he probably get more than one offer, or at least his agent will get some type of word from teams what they're willing to offer. So if a team want to waste their time or tie themselves up with John Collins giving a full offer, they need to make sure it's the best thing out there and it can't be beaten. And the only way to make sure it's the best thing out there and can't be beaten is to give him what the Hawks can give him. And in order for that to happen, we in a sense have to give it to him first and trade him. You feel me?
I totally feel you. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I think that there's no way teams out there won't think that we'll sign him and then keep him for bait for the trade deadline, because now we can fine tune on and target in exactly what we want and what we need for this season. So there's no reason that even if we did sign, that doesn't mean that we're not going to trade him by trade deadline. Like it sucks, but like the Hawks are not a dumb franchise. I think they're being ran by really smart people that understand basketball players can be good, and you don't have to pay a shit ton for good basketball players. That's what I think.
And I that's why I wanted to catch Clifton, because I wanted to give little counterpoints to some things or whatnot though. But I understand what you're saying. Like I said, I give John Collins the acknowledgement of his efficiency all the time. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I do. It's just people miss it when I question, can he get better than that? Because literally look at his percentages. Can he shoot better than that? That's a legitimate question. You feel me? And then it's funny to hear him say that, like, he don't want to pay him max, basically. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but that's the point of the debate. It's like, I'm asking, can he get better at the one thing that everybody's saying that he's so great at? Could he realistically get better at that? And then if he's already at the top of that, and you don't want to pay him max, then what the hell are we talking about and doing then? It's like, well, you're trying to figure something out.
Right. And since you're driving, I'll read this out loud from Stephen Patrick. Yeah. It says that's the key to all of this. We can't go backwards. We need comparable talent or potential upside to bring something we don't already have on this roster. Problem is, he'll get that offer. The kid deserves it. He bet on himself. And I totally agree. Like, he bet on himself. He deserves it. And if somebody comes walking in that way, we have to be willing to cut ties at a certain number as a good organization. It's just not smart. But now a sign and trade to whatever that team is wanting to pay him is fine. Like, sign him and then trade him, and we'll get something out of him, and we'll keep it moving. We can replace John Collins. We can't replace...
you got to be careful with your wording. You know what I'm saying? Folks get upset though. But
how do you say? What do you mean?
Now I'm just saying, you got trigger words like that, man. Replace and all those type things. Folks get and they get upset. But,
I see.
But I understand what you're saying. To be honest with you, that's why I was trying to all right. John Collins, it's to me it's kind of difficult too, because if we all going to acknowledge Trae Young's like superstar ability, it's kind of hard, you know what I'm saying, to really judge John Collins, in my opinion. Like, because, man, I don't want to go back in time or something, but like, imagine Josh Smith with Trae Young. Like, right. Or like, Rashawn Holmes, like, yeah, I understand. I won't necessarily say I wouldn't say what you guys saying about him. But
no. First of all, let me just clarify that. I brought up Rashawn Holmes, and Eddie took it to a different place that I thought he was going to take it to.
I know that's. I don't mean to say y'all, but I know you brought him up first, and I know Eddie did say, you know what I'm saying, he was like
that was. I don't want to say that was out of pocket, but that wasn't what I was going to say.
I wouldn't say that, but at the same time, though, I don't believe that Darren Fox runs the offense the way Trae Young runs the offense, or has the ability to pass the ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see that. But also too, to play like, like not to put a little funk on everybody party, because postseason was great. But let's be real though. Clint had trouble after the first round. You said yourself, and I believe it too, though. But if the Knicks had Mitch Robinson, that would have gave us a little bit more of a problem. Now, it would help because Mitch Robinson ain't offensive like that. But at the same time, he would have been a lob threat, a big threat in the dunker spot, a lot more than Noel, though. But that's the key there. And then, but to see Clint in the next 2 rounds against, say, Philly, I mean, come on, y'all. Let's be real. The only reason why we beat Philly is because Ben Simmons don't shoot. I mean, that's just a fact of the matter right there. I mean, we
didn't shoot.
Like,
or didn't shoot because in the first couple rounds he was good.
I know that we were missing pieces and stuff, but let's not act like we swept every single round or something like that.
Well, Stephen Patrick brings up a good point that I want you to hear, Mike. Stephen Patrick brings up a good point that I want you to hear. It says our problem is we still haven't proven we can attract and sign free agents. So we got to be conservative with these drafted assets. How do you feel about that?
That I can understand.
Yeah, I feel that too.
You definitely don't want to trade John Collins off for somebody who like on a 1-year deal or some bull, and then they walk up out of here. Right. That would be dumb completely too. So, I mean, I understand that, but at the same time, though, with Trae Young's continued progression, or even if he did quote unquote plateaued, he's still at a star level. Hopefully, that's what attracts because we haven't had that since Dominique.
What's your ideal number of players playing on a playoff rotation?
Ideal number? I mean, I think that you probably only need like 8 with good coaching. I mean,
I think 8 to 10, right?
Yeah, I mean 8 to 10. 10 is
a lot.
Is great. Is great or something, a good thing to have. But in the playoffs or whatever, yeah, I mean, you kind of don't want to go too deep like that. You're gonna stick what you got.
Right. So with that said, we have too many things. We have too many toys. What is the problem with looking at this, identifying that, and then saying, okay, let's bundle some of these up and let's go get something that's identifiable for a team. We're going to give them something that they want, which is multiple pieces that are worthwhile for this one super piece. What's wrong with taking that attitude at this point?
I don't think that's a problem. I'm not gonna lie. I am attached to our perimeter guys. I'm attached to them more than JC and Clint. I gotta make sure I vocally say Clint name as well, so people don't think I'm just picking on John Collins. But I am a lot more attached to Kevin, Cam, and DeAndre than I am Clint and John Collins. That's just understanding the league. I mean, we understand that it's a perimeter league, kind of more so. No guys. And what we're talking about that we need a lot of times is people who can score without trade. And those 3 guys can. So it's like, why the hell would I want to trade them away when they're defenders and they can score without Trae Young? So it's like, no, I want to keep them. I want to see them to continue to develop and progress. But, I mean, again, Clint definitely is what he is. Like, don't get me started on him. I'm not finna expect anything come back from him. But he do what he do at a good level. But at the same time, though, Clint's a hustle player. So if Clint getting boxed out continuously by somebody who's 6'11" to 7 feet as well, Clint, what's the word? His
impact.
His production is coming down. Coming down. You match his effort, his production is coming down. I know everybody loves John Collins, but John Collins is a lot of an effort guy. His main attribute is movement. So to me, when somebody matches his movement and his hustle, or God forbid, outdo him, man, we in trouble.
So, Mike, I got a question then. It happened. John Collins prices himself out of Atlanta. Hold on. Hold on. He prices himself out. He joins the Utah Jazz or whatever. And then they come back for the first game in Atlanta, and we do the tribute video. What song? It's got to be on that tribute video.
Oh, shoot, man. I don't know what kind of shit.
How about this? I'll make it easier. What highlight has to be on that tribute video?
What highlight has to be on the tribute video?
What highlight?
The Embiid dunk, for sure.
Okay,
That's an automatic.
Okay.
So you're not putting Embiid dunk. What do you say?
You're not putting any. Are you driving?
But you see, with Stephen Pressure, not right now. say not at that moment. That's what I said. I pulled up to where I was going to. So, but just before I hop out and everything like that, I'll go over some more stuff though. But yeah, like I feel like Stephen Patrick can understand what I mean. I feel like we can understand that part though. So that's where it's like we need JC to add more of the skill and ball handling, because in playoffs you're not gonna get the fouls. Nate told him that before the playoffs. You understand? And John Collins, you are not a star. So if anybody gonna get fouls on our team, it's Trae Young. And we saw how that was iffy. Sorry, John, but you ain't getting shit. You ain't getting no calls.
That's what they said. Did you hear Kevin Herter point that out on that podcast? He was like, when you get to the playoffs, it's like the star players don't just get all the bullshit calls, and so it's like real basketball again, and then everybody's like has to adjust to the fact that there's real basketball being played. So I thought that was an interesting point.
You can definitely push somebody around, get pushed and stuff like that. And that's the thing where John got to be able to take those bumps, those pushes and stuff. He's still getting bumped and pushed off his spot, and then he fumbles the basketball and stuff like that. I mean, he gotta tighten up dribbling when nobody's pushing him too as well.
What PED can we give John that he can pass the test then?
But I don't know. He said what PED to give him. That's funny.
I try to bring a little brevity here, but so Stephen Patrick has this point here, and he's on it, and he made this other point to your point about the perimeter guys, but the in the paint domination is where the Hawks lost the game. Even though our perimeter shots were off, it was our inability to handle the paint. Like, we weren't able to defend the paint, and we weren't able to score in the paint, and our rebounding was kind of 50-50. So I think that was definitely the difference in this roster. And we did lose Mike. We probably lost him for the night. But we'll wrap it up. I think we've had a fair enough discussion. I think we've come full circle on John Collins conversation. We definitely want John Collins, appreciate his skills, but at the same time, we want the Hawks to make a good, sound basketball decision for the franchise. And I think, with that said, there's a strong possibility that our Hawks will lose John Collins. And I think that number needs to be understood by the franchise and the fan base. And I think that, with that being the possibility, we have to try to make sure that we turn over every stone that we can to not lose John Collins for nothing, like we did with Al Horford. I think the loss of Al Horford for nothing was the beginning of the end of the Bud era here, and now we see him going on to NBA status, final status. So we don't want to make any of these drastic decisions. This is such an important offseason. I hope they definitely nail it. But I am willing to get rid of John Collins if it brings in a better piece. With that said, I think we're going to go ahead and end the show. Join us on Wednesday. We'll be back. We're going to talk draft more since the draft is going to be the next day. And with that said, go Hawks.